Hello fellow YouTubers. This is a very impromptu video, as I was not planning on making one today, but after reading these headlines, I just feel like that it's almost, at some point you feel like you have to make a statement about what you believe, because and I know what some of you are believing about me before I even get into the story, probably just because of the title of the video. But you're going to be, I hope, pleasantly surprised, because I am an objective, conservative, libertarian, okay? And I am the type of person that believes in freedom for everyone. First, really, well, for myself and my family, but equally for everyone else. And I've talked about this before, probably many times, how it seems like most people are only concerned with themselves. And anyway, this is about Jan Brewer likely to veto Arizona bill protecting religious freedom. Well, the headline itself is silly, okay? I usually like Breitbart.com, but the whole and let me back up just a second. There will probably be a lot of editing here because I didn't plan this, and I want to say what I want to say, and I may have to think for a second before I say it. So if you see some cutting, it's because I'm cutting the thinking out, not anything else. Excuse me. The idea that businesses need protection, need a bill, legislation, protecting their religious freedom is just odd. It's very odd to me. We and I own a small business. I'm not in my business to practice my religion, and maybe some people are. I believe in God. I'm not, charismatic, and I don't, handle snakes or anything. But and there's some people in the background that are distracting me, so I'm still trying to collect my thoughts. But I am a business owner, because I love what I'm doing. I feel like I should be in my profession because it's a natural for me, and I've always loved it my whole entire life. I've planned to do what I'm doing right now, even from when I was 6 or 7 years old. My mother said I was building with Legos and wanted to build things. And so, when I started my business, I didn't go into the business of building things to worry about, holy cow, get your dang muffler fixed, people. Jesus, Lord help me. I didn't go into my construction business with the thought that I was going to look at my clients, my customers, and discern whether they were worthy of my, of me being their contractor. I went into the business of building because that's what I love doing. And if I have a customer who's going to pay me for what I'm good at doing, and pay me what I ask, the fees that I request, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to worry about their sexual preference or their religious preference or any other preference they have. The only preferences I'm going to worry about are those that are related to the project. Whether they want to use, what type of siding do they want to use, how many square feet, how many bedrooms do they want, that type of preference. It is not my duty as a Christian. As a matter of fact, it is my duty to respect them no matter who they are as a Christian, It is not my duty to judge them. And most of the people you find judging other people are, I don't know, are they Christian, or are they just people who want to be so conservative, so right-wing, that they can't stand other people's, lifestyle or agenda? Are they using, the Christianity as a cover for their bigotry and hatred? You can say, well, the business owners have a right to refuse. They have a right to, but who would? Who goes into business to refuse customers? What idiot creates a business to go in to do what they want to do, and to make money, to make a living, to make a profit? Because that is our first, that is our goal in business, to make a profit. It's no surprise for those of us who have been in business for a long time. That is the goal. Your goal is not to go into business so that you can judge your customers, so that you can decide what is right and wrong for people. It's ludicrous. And I promise you, and I'm trying to actually take up for the people and the businesses of Arizona here. I promise you, the majority of businesses in Arizona don't feel that they need the protection of your legislation. Lawmakers in Arizona, it's ridiculous. You have a bunch of apparently right-wingers, way right-winger. I mean, so far right-wing that they're not even in the Republican category anymore. Who, if I was the governor, I would go find me some legislators and I would slap them silly. And I'd say, what the heck are you doing putting me in a situation where I lose no matter what? Now, that's the political angle, okay? That the political angle of this, is that, why would you put, unless maybe you don't like the governor, maybe you're claiming to be a conservative, but maybe you don't like the governor, and maybe maybe you'd like to see her sign a silly piece of legislation. If I own a gas station and a gay couple walks up, or a devil worshiper walks up to the gas pump and he pumps gas and he pays for it, swipes his card, and he runs off, you've made money. Why would you sit there and worry? Why would you run out there and say, oh, you can't get gas at my gas station because you're gay, or you're a devil worshiper, or whatever? Why would you refuse service to someone? It's ridiculous. If I have a cake, if I'm a bakery and I make cakes and someone asks me to put 2 little men on top of a cake, I'm going to do it with a smile. I'm going to make that cake. It's going to be the best cake they ever ate. They're going to come back time and time again. They're going to tell other people about my bakery, and I'm going to make lots of money. And you idiots who are out there refusing, and I think it's just a very few people. I really have more faith in this in the people and the business owners of Arizona. I would say it's a minuscule amount of people. I don't even know why I don't even know why the legislation was even brought up, or why it was even written, or it's the whole thing is silly. It's just silly that this ever made it to the governor's desk. And she should have vetoed it. She should have ripped it up before it even got it, before people even had a chance to ask her whether she was going to sign it or not. I don't know. Burr has until Sunday to veto the bill that most likely veto it after being pressured by a business interest afraid of potential boycotts of the state. These businesses should have basically said, instead of going at it like we're worried about boycotts, you should have been like, why do you assume that we're going to refuse services to our customers? People don't understand how to put things in the right perspective. Now the people who made these comments about worrying about boycotts, make it seem like they're worried about, that's what they're worried about. They should be worried about what people think of them as people. The fact that you possibly could have had legislation that made your entire state look like idiots. So I just want people to know that all conservatives don't have hate in their heart. We're conservative because we're mostly concerned with freedom. And this is where it gets confusing for me, because I don't understand how people get to the point to where they say, they want small government, they want, all the things that we espouse as conservatives, but then they act like this. I just, sometimes it just befuddles me how conservatives put themselves in this position. Business groups and businesses like Apple and American Airlines have urged her to veto the bill. Of course. And this is really where, the businesses have to jump on these. They really have to come down hard. The businesses are, a lot of those people are the ones who are funding campaigns. They should come down hard on these legislators and just say, what the heck? What are you thinking? What? It's not, freedom is freedom. No matter what someone's sexual orientation is, no matter what their religion is, no matter what, people have a right to walk around in our country and buy things on the free market, and they have a right to sell things on the free market. They have a right to live without interference from it. I'm at a loss of words. It really seems like there's a shift in what I used to think of the Republican Party. There's a shift in the Republican Party, and I used to, when I was younger, I've always loved politics. Even in my teens and my 20s, and the Republican Party back in those days was more towards the, it seemed to me like it was more of a center, and they cared more about people's individual rights, and liberty. And today it just seems like it's gone wacko. It really has. But that's why we have to be careful who we vote for. I'm not going to tell you what to do, just like I don't want you telling me what to do. And I certainly don't want state legislators telling me, making business people look bad, creating an atmosphere, a contentious atmosphere that they would have created. Just imagine living under that legislation. Imagine being, someone, walking into a bookstore, and you're a Satan worshiper, and you feel like you can't even go to a Christian bookstore. Isn't that ridiculous? Just think about that. So anyway, thanks for if you've made it this far for the impromptu video, and let's just delve into freedom and meditate about freedom. It's not freedom is not just the absence of trouble in your life, okay, or other people making trouble for you. It's about you not making trouble for other people, right? That's what freedom is. Nice.